Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be watching episode 26 of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. So we've taken care of the clone of Frieren, but that also still leaves all the other clones that our other group has to deal with Denkin's group. I was saying in the episode previous that I felt like the Frieren fight was more interesting to me and I'm less interested in the Denkin one. I still kind of care about some of the characters in that group. I think Denkin is the one I care about the most, if anything. I don't really have any fear of anyone dying in this episode or anything like that. So my hope is for them to find a way to make this a bit more interesting for me to perhaps raise the stakes in some way. So since we're nearing the end of this show, what I tend to start the conversation for is, what are we watching next? So hopefully I can get this video out in a timely manner so that people can start weighing in on what they want, or at least start thinking about it. I will also make community posts as well so that you're a bit more up to date on the current events. Either way, think about it, and we're just gonna jump on into the episode. Whoa. Wait, did we not kill her? Or is this a different perspective of the same fight? Holy crap. Oh my god, we did not see any of this. Where was any of this the last episode? Oh my god. This is already the best looking fight in the entire season. So we're still fighting. I thought the fight was over. Ooh, every fight looks really awesome. Okay, my previous fears for the episode are gone now. They fixed it.
探知できている複製体の総数が受験者よりもわずかに少ないです。前世の複製体はさすがに看過できない。
Because we definitely know it's out there somewhere.
精度の高い近距離探知で探すしかありませんね。
お前がこの場にいなければこんな懸念もいらなかったんだがな。
That's what I was saying earlier. Oh.
倒した。でもいい気分じゃねえな。
Oh.
奇襲。
Oh, that's where Sensei's clone was.
ラビーネ、お前も瓶を割れ。引き際がわからないほどガキじゃないだろう。試験は3年後もある。
Break those bottles.
間に合わなかったか。だがわしが加勢したところで結果は同じだっただろう。
I would like to see Denkin go up against Sensei's clone.
確か宮廷魔法使いのデンケンだっけ？今どういう状況なの？
Why don't you go walk out there and find out?
なら私が倒すよ。
何を言っているんだ。この中で一番強いのはデンケンだ。第一お前はビアベルにも勝てなかっただろう。
Well, how is she gonna get to know the replica though?
大体何でも切る魔法、レイル財伝。私が切れると思ったものは何でも切れるし、切れないと思ったものは全く切れない。
Well, unless she thinks it can cut, then that changes that, right?
やはり私の複製体の相手はユーベルか。おそらく戦いにすらならない。その第二次試験の試験官を担当したのはブルグ一級魔法。
Alright, supposedly Ubel has killed First Class Mages.
誰もブルグの心配などしていなかった。
Oh, oh my god.
それを3級魔法使いになったばかりの無名の少女があっさりと殺してしまった。
Couldn't you have just gotten like a dummy and then put that cloak on there and then say, cut that? You didn't have to wear it.
私も不器用だからそういうことはしたことないんだけど、姉貴がよく裁縫をしているのを見ていた。
Ooh, are we getting backstory for Ubel?
布っていうのはさ、切れるものなんだよ。切れて当たり前のものだ。
こいつはイカれている。
she saw that cloak and thought it was cloth.
実際にあの街灯がいかなる攻撃魔法も通さないことは魔法使いなら一目見ればわかるからだ。
I will say, like, because Sensei said that if there's a defensive spell, she can't imagine cutting it. So if she was told ahead of time that the cloak has a bunch of defensive magic on it, maybe just its form, the fact that it's cloth versus like a dome, like the other defensive spells.
ユーベルには勝てるイメージが湧かない。相性が悪すぎる。
Oh, that was pretty badass. Makes total sense. Hair can be cut. That was a really nice setup for all that.
はい、そうです。
Like, Ubel was a really bad matchup for Sensei.
魔法使い同士の戦いはじゃんけんのようなものですからね。ただし手数が無数にあり、極めて複雑で難解なじゃんけんです。
I love stories with ecosystems like that where people have weaknesses versus another.
現時点で確実に足止めしなければならない危険な複製体は2体。
I think it's funny though that Fern and Frieren are taking on like a god and no one's there to see it. It's like the most amazing fight ever.
さすがに見つけ出さないと奇襲で死者が出かねません。
あの子結構強いわ
Though
よ。
the very beginning of this episode has me a little worried because they're talking about Fern's replica that she can conceal her mana.
本人の体を使って確かめましたから。
I'm a little afraid that Fern's replica is going to sneak up on Frieren.
私の複製体が復活している。
Yeah, didn't we beat these?
消耗戦だ。楽しくなってきたね。
まったくだ。
Oh man. Okay, so defeating them doesn't just make them go away. Oh. Was that Fern? And then there's this. I don't care what anyone's dealing with. No one wants to be in this room.
私が隙を見せれば、相手はもっと大きな隙を見せる。防御に集中すれば致命傷にはならない。
Oh, is she gonna take a hit, maybe? Oh my god.
任せるよ。
She just threw like the universe at her. The fights in this episode are insane. Particularly this one here. Like, look at this shit. Oh my god. Wow. Oh, yeah, she's taking a hit a little bit. We're just gonna go off now. Don't. Oh. Oh, it shattered her staff.
魔力を全く感じない。この攻撃を私は魔法として認識できていない。
Oh, she's getting pushed into the wall.
これが魔法の高みなんですね。隙だらけです。
So really, Fern was the decoy.
よくやった。
Maybe that wasn't the original plan,
あ
but
れを見せるほど追い詰められたのは80年ぶりかな。
that was like almighty push with that thing. Yeah, because you could see her hand still going into the wall. She was being pushed.
それじゃあさっさと終わらせようか。
Yeah, fuck that thing. Saved everyone's ass.
終わりましたか。
もう動けない。
ビアベル、おんぶしてくれ。
Look at all that
こ
gold.
こが霊落の応募の最深部か。
君たちは霊落の応募を攻略した。約束通り最深部にたどり着いた全員を。
That's the second test. There's a third one though, right?
それで一番の功労者はどこに行った？
They went home. Oh no. She has to look into every one of them.
それでは第二次試験を終了とする。
なんとか
This is a good song too.
使えるのじゃ。どうじゃすごいじゃろ。
誰なのお前。
While that may not have had the most emotional depth of all the episodes in regards to the excitement and the fighting, the animation, the creativity with the spells, I thought last episode was creative with spells. I even thought that the Frieren fight was already over. I thought that was the end of it, but it definitely was not. This episode, I think, has been the best episode. We didn't have any like crying moments necessarily with it, and that's fine. But this is like the culmination of all of these stories where we don't need to know anything more about anybody else, even though there probably is space to go do that. But now we're just having fun. We've got the problem in front of us. Everyone's doing their thing, and we're just trying to handle the problem. I'm just thinking back to before I started watching this episode, I was like, yeah, I already saw the cool fight, you know, it's fine, and I hope they make this one interesting. And it ends up being, to me, the best one. The most interesting fights. Wow, that was spectacular. That was, to me, the best episode. We didn't dwell too much on certain fights. We didn't really know a whole lot about Ubel other than one of her abilities, which was just, I have to get to know you, and then I have your power, which is pretty handy. But such a simple spell like her cutting one, where she can just imagine cutting you, it'll work on you. It doesn't matter how strong you are. So it's just super interesting. Like they were giving examples how it worked. Like, okay, if it's like the typical defensive spell that gets put up, she's not going to break that because she understands it's hard as a rock and she's not going to cut that. If you're wearing clothes, which she can imagine tearing clothes, cutting clothes, then you're toast. If your whole ability has to do with your hair, you can cut hair. So why wouldn't my ability cut your hair and destroy you? The real show was happening in that room with Frieren and Fern, and I was not expecting that fight to go the way it did, because I was expecting Frieren to take a hit and then Fern has the opening and Fern delivers the killing blow, which she kind of did. That's what they tried to do, and it did not work out that way. To see Fern get hit with that magic from Frieren was pretty gnarly. I almost took that as like a reality check. I imagine this is stuff that Frieren doesn't show Fern because maybe it's not necessary. So when we see all of a sudden a Frieren that doesn't give a shit about Fern use that magic on Fern, it was a bit jarring and like off-putting, but it was also eye-opening for Fern too. She's all of a sudden getting hit with that ability, and then she's just like, whoa, you had this in you like this whole time? And because she was just saying, oh wow, so this is the height of magic. Another thing to think about too is that Frieren usually lets Fern take things on, and Frieren won't help. She'll purposely not do that. But in this case, when it's herself, she's like, no, I need to step in. It was just a nice little contrast in how Frieren would behave in certain situations with Fern. One of my favorite episodes, if not probably my favorite episode. But hope you enjoyed the reaction. But that's it from me, and I'll see you next time.